This is Justin at SPX on Thursday, September 15th, 2022. And looking at the 3 minute here, so there were some really amazing moves today. We had a bearish gap and go, really had a nice small candle yesterday, bullish candle, gap down, and stayed inside a little bit. And man, this looked like it was setting up great right here. There's kind of like this double top shape, and it just crushed lower. Didn't really even retest, didn't give us a bull candle sitting in here. Wasn't a 10 EMA setup anyway, because it was it was a gap and go. So technically it could have worked. Actually, this one could have worked going bullish here. But we didn't get a bear candle up in here anywhere close to 10. We did get 2, 3 over here. And so I was noticing this, and this just moved too quick for me to get something set up. And yeah, it just went. So it was one of the setups. It came into a double bottom shape here, retested right back into the low at open. That rolled over, and then when it rolled over into, let me zoom in on this because this is really cool, and then I'll zoom back out. So we'll just talk through the 3 minute first, and I'll show you what happened with the options, because there were a couple, I've already gone over a couple things here, but we had a really nice hammer here, and then it dipped below the hammer, trapping any of those bears when it came back up, and then it went down again. So that's an inverted head and shoulders, with the 10 EMA being kind of the neckline, and you can draw at different angles, whatever. But that's the inverted head and shoulders shape. And then what we do, we put in 1, 2, 3 bear candles. So anything moving past those, and a nice tight stop here. I mean, you can make your stop tight. It's just going to run like it. That's the compression. This is the inverse of what I drew yesterday, where it was kind of like this shape. This is what I have drawn with it was being a double top. So this one is a little bit opposite because, well, it's the other direction, obviously. But it's the same kind of thing where we've got like a pennant after reversal pattern, and then it just ran. So that was the run. That's what we did today. So that was pretty cool. And then we kind of did that, the one from yesterday over here. And it depends on how you draw this. You could draw this as a head and shoulders here, some consolidation. Look at that candle. I just drew over it, but that's the bear candle. I'm sorry, a bull candle closing below the 10. Get in right here. Again, this moved faster than I could get the order right. I messed up some of the order. It's like, oh, I can't get in. So I'm looking at what option to get in instead. And I get in like over here, somewhere over in here. And even though the option's going, or even though the SPX is going in this direction, it was the option was losing value. And then it did this. I'm like, all right, I'm out. And so I can show you what I did on that one. But yeah, I was in this one bullish, and then I was in this one over here bearish. And let me show you what happened in the options now, because this was really cool. And then I missed some earlier because I wasn't ready for it, I guess. So let me draw again. So actually, let me hold the cursor. So right over here, I was looking at the 39.50 call. So right in through here, it had poked up above 2. And then I set up a limit order to buy that at 2 and a stop down at 1. And I'm just going to zoom in on this portion down here. So my stop was at 1, so we can get rid of anything else. And I could have definitely done tighter. I could have done probably 1.5 would have been even comfortable. I had my stop way down here at 1. So it went up to 250, had the order in, it triggered me in. Actually, no, I got the order set up over here because I was in at 11.55. I got triggered in. So on this candle, I got triggered in on this little pullback into 2. Yeah, because the low here is 205. And then it triggered me in here. And then I was out at 7. So a 5R gain, $100 risk, 5R gain right up here, out at 7. 7 was this really large bear candle, and below this low. It's like, I'm going to get out at a place that it should get me out if we have a decent move. Even if it grinds higher, I can tighten my stop up, up above 4, up above 5, if we start going up and just grinding and just get out for a little bit. I was actually shocked that I was out at 12:03. So 8 minutes later, in 8 minutes, made 5R on that, just because it was exactly what I was looking for. Just the reverse of it from what I had drawn on my chart. Drawn on a piece of paper I've got sitting in front of me. for what I saw yesterday. And then, so that's back to SPX 3 minute. So here we are back in the option. This is now the put, the 38.50 put, so out of the money. And I messed up the order with the 38.80, and it rejected the order. I'm like, what happened? And I realized what I did, but 38.75. So I got in at 1 over here. Let me double check the time. I think it was 1:51. Yeah, 1:51. I got filled at 1. So I didn't get filled on, I was waiting until this candle, but got filled on a retest back to here. Could have set that up even a little tighter, like at 0.75. And I was just happy to be in that. And then I had absolute zero. So got in at 1, stop at 0, thinking this is probably going to grind and I'll make maybe 2. But if it really runs, it could be one of those things where in the last hour we just crush and I'll just hold on to that. But it immediately started not work with the option. I'm like, I'm going to tighten up my target. And I got my target in here, right in here at this previous chop and this previous chop. It's like, I'll just get out of this at 2. And then I was out at 213. So on this one, I was in over here at 151 and out at 213. So that took what, 22 minutes to make an R because it chopped. But that was this setup where I was in at 151. So it got me in on this candle, and then it didn't get me out till over here on this candle. And this was good that it got me out here because that's when we were making a new low. So we made a new low in the day with an option that's out of the money. I don't need to hold on to that. As soon as that option starts moving, or as soon as the SPX starts moving back up, that option is just going to get crushed. That's what happened here. Just the choppiness for like these 4, 5 candles here, that choppiness made the option price go below where I got in. So that's what you really have to be careful. Even if the option is moving in a direction and you're out of the money and it's the last 90 minutes till it expires worthless, that is going to happen faster than you realize. And so you need to just be ready that whatever you're in, just wait to get in more. When I saw this candle come in, I'm like, okay, I should have plenty of time, get in at 1. I got in a little too fast. I should have gone back to the 38.80 because I think that actually came down and touched 1 again. So this was the 38.80. Yeah, so I had all this time. I could have gotten back into that at 1. I think that was the one I did. There's the order. I'm just double checking the order that I messed up. Somehow I told it to sell and it rejected it. It's like, no, I don't want to sell to get in. I want to buy to get in. 147. So I had it set up at 147 to get in, and it rejected the order. And all I had to do was just fix the order, and I had a couple opportunities to get in at 1, and then that would have been a better game. Buying at 1 and getting out at, probably could have gotten out easily at 3. That would have been comfortable because it's a little bit above the, probably 250, because that's right where that chop is on this option. So that is how I made some trades on the options here. Again, just looking at, let me go back to this, looking for that consolidation. And when it does this, the option is going to lose that value. And same with this, the option lost that value. So we get that reversal signal. And whether you draw this as a double top or if you draw it as head and shoulders, with this and this and this being the peaks, and then this one being inverted. Oops. Let me fix that. However you draw that, that's the reversal. Like you can even do this one as a head and shoulders and then get in here bearish. I'm sorry, as a double top and get in here bearish. And then you have another consolidation here, and this one just went too quickly that I didn't get in here. This is where I was looking to get in. It's like, oh, I totally missed that because of those 3 candles. What time was that at? That was at right at 1 o'clock. So I would have had to have the put set up already at 1 o'clock. So if I did the 38, no, I wouldn't have done 38. I think I was looking at the 3900 at that point. So the 3900 right at 1 o'clock. What that was doing. So right at 1. Yeah, so I made this candle. So I was looking at this, get in at 3, stop down at 2, and when it ran up and it was already past 4, it's just like, okay, if it pulls all the way back, I'll probably get triggered in and it'll stop me out because the option is going to lose value. And what happened? Yeah. So here, let me draw it here. So if this is my entry here and my stop is here and it runs up and I still have the order open, I would have been filled here, but then this would have stopped me out over here at 2. So when that happens and it's going to chop for a while, like this is the consolidation. Look to get in after this happens again. Like here's a high wave candle. Here's a high wave candle. Here's a hammer. Here's an inverted hammer. Just get in at 3 over here and a stop at 2. Just do it again. And if I had done that trade, then that would have gone up to, I would have been targeting the high up here, probably 12 or even 10, because I was in earlier. It was moving very nicely. I easily could have moved my stop up, especially when this candle came in, could have moved my stop right up here to 4, been like, okay, can't lose on this, and then just trail my stop up. And this being at 3,900, we had already almost touched that earlier. And once we get to the point we're at the money and then some, that's when that option goes skyrocketing. And that's what happened on Tuesday, where the options went in the money. The ones that were way out of the money got in the money late. And we had a very similar thing happen today. So that's why I was okay, just with what I know of how the options move, to be looking at options that are down here, thinking we could get into this. But you got to realize when you're wrong and it starts to reverse. Like we had the same thing happen like this, where we rallied just like yesterday. So yesterday we rallied into the close and we had pushed down enough. We're probably going to retest back up into the lows, and there's just not enough time in the day to retest. So I'm going to hold the cursor here. Here's the lows today, right? That's where we retested to right at close. And it's a little different than yesterday. Well, no, it's similar to yesterday, but we retested way back up here, and I drew that in with this is what I drew in for yesterday, where I had noticed this hammer here is where we held, and then we broke, and then we retested and came back up to that same price yesterday. And so these individual candles at key locations, before a big sell-off, something that breaks later, things like that, like they can be key prices. And so what did that mean for today? Same thing. This was a key price. Like let's look for this held here, and it held here with a really nice reversal pattern. And then we're above it here. So it's like we're probably still S curving. And sure enough, we're going to push through that. And then we'll retest back up into that low price from below. And all day long, we just had basically lower highs, lower lows, this downtrending channel, because we're still bearish. So that's kind of the overall framework of the 3-minute. And that's how to trade some of these options. So that's just looking at a couple options. Please go back through, look at which other ones you could have done. Like if you want to do an absolute zero and you've got $100 risk, don't get into the 39.50 call, even at this point. You want to get into something a little further out. So like 39.60, see if that comes down in here. So yeah, this was crossing through the dollar mark. So you could have bought for $1, and it doesn't have as big of a gain. So you could have bought at 1 and gotten out at 4. That's still a 3-hour gain with risking your full risk on just getting into that option at a decent price. And the decent price is when this is going sideways, because we've had so much chop in here. The other thing going on with the 3-minute, I'll say this too, this was a kind of a trapping setup, because we put in this low, we held that low, we were making lower highs, we're making lower lows all through this, and then all of a sudden we're back up here. It's like we should roll over, but we weren't getting anything below the 10. So the 10 was acting as a support, and once it did the stair step long enough, it's literally a 1R risk to see if, well, what if we bounce here? We're going to trap all of these bears through here, and even these ones over here, we're going to trap them. And that's why this had this pop right here. That's just the sentiment of it. The bears were trapped, they were buying to close, and everybody was buying to get this back up, but it only retested back up into like here, which is probably about 50% of this move. I haven't done any fibs on this today. I wonder. Right now. So let me look at a fib and see if this percentage shows up anywhere. Let's see, that's a nice bear candle here. candle. I like this. The high of that one lined up really well. Yep, the 382 lined up right as the support. Push right back up through that. This still looks like 50% right here. If I draw this, yeah, so we're right around the fib levels through these candles through here. Let's do it down here too. Let's see if that caught anything. Yeah, 50% mark, 618 mark here. So this kind of stuff, like all of a sudden I've got 3 fib percentages, you know, drawn in. You can see just framework in the day. This is really cool here. So the just said like we had this level that we held and then we ran. Well, we also started to break down right here. And once we broke this, like it just ran and it ran quickly into here. That candle, this candle fills all 3 of these. So, you know, there's levels in here that you can use to kind of guide what you're doing. But when a level breaks, like watch it move to the next thing. So yeah, really cool stuff. So let's keep charting. Let's keep ask questions. What are we noticing that happens, you know, today that might happen again tomorrow? What happened yesterday that we can play off of today? And hope this helps. This is Justin. Thanks.